Welcome, everyone, to Stadium Journey Obstructed Views, the show where a couple of guys in a couple of countries drink a couple of beers. I mean, you have one and I have one. We don't drink a couple of beers during the show. And we discuss the stadium somewhere in the world and their experiences there. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And we're excited to be here with you tonight. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the Stadium Journey YouTube channel. Hey, we passed 500 subscribers. Very excited about that. Like the video, even if you don't. Like it anyway. We won't tell anybody that you lied. And, leave a comment if you feel so inclined. And check out stadiumjourney.com for all of our fantastic content. So let's get rolling. Dave, what are you drinking tonight?
Okay, so on the way to Wasaga Beach from KW, we go through this little town called Primrose, Ontario. I've probably
Sounds
mentioned
very
it
proper.
before. I probably mentioned this before, but in Primrose is Burger Corner, which is on Highway 89, Highway 10. There are two burger spots, unique, on the corner. On
McDonald's and Burger King.
No. Ew. And then if you go down Highway 89, there's another one. So
Wendy's.
Probably there's a bunch if you count the Harveys and the A&W that are also down there. But probably the one we stop at the most is called Champ Burger. I brought on a beer from here before. They don't actually do that beer anymore. They have partnered with a new brewery. So from Champ Burger, I have a Dockside lager, not a dark side, but a Dockside lager. And it is from Mono Center Brewing Company in Mono, Ontario, which is where you have to watch your speed when you're driving through it. One of those spots that's got like the sign, it says you're going this fast. And I'm pretty sure there's a camera just beyond that. And yeah, look out. So anyway, it's light, it's summery. I could totally, if I had a dock or I wanted a dock, I don't want a dock because I don't want a boat. But I could totally see myself sitting, having a dockside lager in the summer. What do you got?
Nice. Up in that lake country up there. So we've been featuring a lot of specialty beers put out by local breweries who have partnered with local teams to promote their wares. And you know what? I got another one. And we've got a first, I think. This is a repeat partnership of a brewery we have featured who partnered with a local school. And now they are partnering with a local team. So we're talking about Amherst Brewing in Amherst, Massachusetts. We have featured their Massachusetts Lager, which is the University of Massachusetts featured beer at their sporting events. And this past weekend, I went to the Westfield Starfires of the Futures Collegiate Baseball League, and they have Amherst Brewing has partnered with them to brew the, if I can get it out of the way of the lake, the Starfires IPA. Now, this is an IPA, and you all, if you're regular watchers of the show, there's the Starfires logo. There you go. I found a good spot. You know how I feel about IPAs. I'm not a big fan, but this is a very drinkable, baseball-y IPA. It's not so bitter, but it's still got that nice hoppy IPA flavor. So hits right the sweet spot for me anyway. So if you like the heavy, more bitter IPA, not for you. But at a baseball game and on Saturday when it was 90 degrees, perfect. So that's what I got. If we were visiting today's destination, we might be drinking a Jolly Scott Scottish-style ale from Appalachian Brewing Company, because today we are talking about FNB Ballpark in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, home of the Harrisburg Senators. Before we get started with our conversation, let's take a look at the Stadium Vitals. All right, so I guess before we get going, let me correct myself, because I always get my stadiums, my ballparks, my yurts all mixed up. This is FNB Field, not FNB Stadium. The corporate names and everything, I always seem to mix those up. So we're talking FNB Field. What's unique about FNB Field? I'm just trying to lighten up the sandlot over there in the corner. I got a little dark spot over there. What's unique about FNB Field, if you haven't been there before, is it is built on an island right in the middle of I believe it's the Susquehanna River, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it was the Susquehanna or the Monongahela or which river it is, but yeah, Susquehanna.
Susquehanna.
That was a nice guess by me, I might say. So yeah, it's located on an island. If you're on the ballpark and if you're facing home plate, Harrisburg's over there. Whatever city, I think it's Camp Hill is on this side, and the ballpark's right here on the island. And there is also a soccer field, I think, located on there, and a few other islandy things. So having a ballpark on an island, good idea, bad idea, Dave. What do you think?
Hey, it's a bad idea when it floods, which it has. It's a bad idea when it takes forever to get off of it, which it can. You do have some limited roadways.
One way in, one way out.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, I think
Well,
you're right.
two ways. Well, two ways.
Can you get off? Like I was.
There's one road that crosses the island. Like the ballpark is here. There's one road that crosses the island here, so you can pull off this way, or you can pull off this way into a parking lot.
Right. Now, our friend Richard Smith, who has been here many times, has said, why did it take you so long? Like, don't park on the island. Park in Harrisburg. Right downtown, there's a pedestrian bridge. I'm like, well, duh. That would have worked better for me. No, seriously, it did flood. Caused a lot of damage. And getting in and out can be a bit of a chore. But you know what? It's unique. Again, 130, so 130 minor league ballparks now. And you know, as we're getting through these and as I'm trudging through my travels, I'm starting to get to that. Where am I again? I feel like I've been here before. Oh, I haven't, but this ballpark is just like that ballpark, which is just like that ballpark. So the island piece is really unique. It gives it a different flavor. City Island is the name of the island. It's 62 acres. And when I was there was like some convention or something on there, which is probably why it took so long to get in.
On the island?
Yeah. Yeah, like convention is probably not the right word. You know, some sort of there was something in the park anyway. Okay. And you know, there were
because the ballpark isn't the only thing on the island.
There's a
few other things.
So there were a ton more people there than normal, I would guess. So that was getting in and out a bit of a challenge. But you know what? Overall, I really like this place. It was one of my favorites. People must really like this place because I'm on about 4 months straight where this is my top review, the most viewed review. So I don't know why Harrisburg, people who love Harrisburg or they're always clicking the reviews. Keep clicking, love it.
I'm going to disagree with you. I really don't like this ballpark at all.
Oh, really?
Really. I've been here 3 times. I go back so far this ballpark. I go back to before they remodeled it. If you can envision the ballpark, it's got this one small little grandstand right behind home plate. It's not very big, but it goes like straight up. It's very vertical. Kind of like
basically it's between the dugouts.
Yes, right? And if you've ever been to McCoy Stadium,
the inside edges of the dugouts, it goes from dugout to dugout.
Very much reminiscent of a small McCoy Stadium before they redid McCoy. And if you knew McCoy Stadium before they redid it, it was only 4,000 seats. Now shrink McCoy. So, and it had a couple bleachers here and a couple bleachers here, and that was the ballpark way back in the 90s. But they built it up, they remodeled it, made it a 360-degree concourse, made it very beach island themed. It looks like a giant boardwalk going all the way across.
That's
true. Very, very nice remodel, I will admit. And they've got some sections of seats all around. They've got bar stool seats all around the outfield, which is, we had my last visit, which was just about a month ago. We actually had seats in one of those sections. We left those seats and sat out in the outfield at a couple of those bar seats. And I got to tell you, that's the place to be. We sat a little bit in right field, a little bit in left field. I will never again sit in the grandstand in Harrisburg. The outfield was the place to be. It was lovely.
So in the outfield, did you dare sit in the cheap seats?
No, we did not.
So this is something, again, you get around a bunch of times and it's like, okay, I'm not seeing anything new. They have a section, an unticketed section in Harrisburg called the cheap seats, left field cheap seats. Mm-hmm. And at the top of this section, there's a lifeguard chair.
Yep.
And there's a guy sitting in there. and his job is to spray the people sitting in the cheap seats with water.
The day we were there, that would have been lovely. I didn't see him spray anybody though. I
Oh,
didn't see
okay.
anybody. We actually went there on Bluey night, so
Oh,
maybe the lifeguard was busy doing Bluey duty.
okay.
I felt bad for the poor kid in the Bluey suit because it was
Ouch.
95 degrees and it must have been 195 degrees inside the suit. But there was a good line to see Bluey the whole game. But Pam and I went and saw Bluey and sent the picture to our grandkids who are Bluey fanatics. And I got to admit, once in a while when they're not here, I find myself watching Bluey. I love that show. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, the cheap seats, and the problem with the cheap seats are though the sun sets directly in front of you. So the cheap seats are cheap because you can't see a dang thing if you're sitting in them during sunset. But yeah, they're a fantastic place to sit. But we actually sat a little bit over, more in left center.
Okay.
But yeah, the bar typical bar seats. It's a little swivel bar chair and a little bar in front of you. Fantastic place to catch the game, and a boardwalk behind you, and the boardwalk goes all the way around the outfield. And there's in right field, you actually you can't do the 360. You have to go down, under, and around to go back underneath the grandstand. But that's where they put the kids zone, and kind of continue the beach theme, the island theme with some stands and concession stands that are island themed with some ice cream and some fried dough and stuff like that down there. Dessert type
Along
stuff.
behind the bleacher, well, not the bleachers, I guess, but probably were bleachers at one point. Behind the grandstands on the third base side, you have picnic tables with umbrellas. Boom, 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 boom.
Those are all gone because they are doing some construction there right now.
Oh,
There is this giant building going up right behind those, right where those tables are that you're talking about. I don't know what the building is going to be. Maybe somebody from the Harrisburg area can let us know.
wow.
It
Okay.
looks like a giant strength and conditioning team offices type building is what it looks like. It doesn't look
That's
like it's ballpark related. It looks more like it's team related. Maybe as part of the minor league restructuring, where all the stadiums needed to be brought up to a certain code.
could
That
be.
might be part of that. And maybe it's like those batting cages where you can watch the players take batting practice, something along those lines.
That's interesting because this is one of those parks where you're probably not entering the ballpark from behind home plate. I entered, and I think most people enter from left field, from the left field corner, and that's kind of the main entrance.
Right.
So stopping that traffic with construction along there
Well, it's still open.
could prove a bit of a challenge, or
It's
maybe
still
not
open,
stopping,
but it's smaller.
shrinking.
Yeah, shrinking is a good word for it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that turns into. I'm not sure, and I didn't really ask anybody, so I can't. I could blame myself for that, but it was hot and sweaty, and I was just kind of cranky.
I would say that this is not the most, ambulatory accessible ballpark. There are a lot of stairs. I did sit in the grandstand, kind of behind home plate, and it is quite steep. It's a lot. It feels a lot higher than your typical, kind of typical minor league park. It feels like you can get to what would be like a second level in like a Buffalo or something like that, but it's pretty much all seats, and you're not going out and hitting another concourse or whatever. So kind of the ground level is about halfway in this concourse. Now all your concessions are down at ground level, at field level. So you're having to go out the back behind home plate and go down the stairs, and your barbecue is there and your concessions. The concessions were pretty decent actually. But yeah, I did find, a lot of, I thought, if I had trouble getting around, this would not be a great place to be.
True. I'm sure there are ways that they make it a little more accessible to folks who need that kind of help. I mean, and I did see elevators, and I saw a lot of people taking advantage of those elevators. But yeah, it's not simple. There are some neat touches. They're all-time team, or they're all anniversary team, are honored not with plaques or pictures or flags like they would be in other places. They're honored with giant bobbleheads.
Yeah.
So there is a row of giant bobbleheads of 10 of Harrisburg's greatest alumni along the concourse underneath the grandstand, like you were talking about. So that's kind of neat.
I think they've benefited from some affiliates that have produced some really strong players. In your bobbleheads, you're talking like, wow, they're the affiliate of the Nationals right now, and before that, they were affiliate of the Expos. So you've got guys who have come up with Washington, like Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper, and those guys, Ryan Zimmerman. Then you've got guys who came up with the Expos. Matt Stairs is in that group. I don't think he came up with the Expos, though. I'm not sure.
The
He
team
might
has
have
been
come
in
up with the
place,
Pirates.
Yeah, the
because
team has been in place for a long time.
they were Pirates before Expos for not very long. So it could have been Pirates. But you got Cliff Floyd, Michael Barrett, and then they really leaned into this when I was there. Because the year that I was there, they inducted Vladimir Guerrero into the Hall of Fame. And they really leaned into this. Like, they really made him look like the Harrisburg Senator. They've retired his number, and there's quite a few of those like banners on the light posts with Vlad. Interesting for me being a Jays fan, and it's at some point in time in Toronto, Vladimir Guerrero is going to just be the dad of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Even though he's a Hall of Famer, whatever, who cares? He's just Vlad Jr.'s dad. That's all. But yeah, they really lean into who's played there, which is not common amongst minor league teams. And they really lean into the success that they've had. Like they've won 6 titles, which is like pretty wow for a team that hasn't been there that long. And yeah, there are about 2 or 3 spots where you could see, oh yes, they won in 97, and I have the numbers here somewhere, but all of these, I think the last one they won was in 2013.
I think they've come in bunches, their titles.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. For sure.
I'm thinking of some of the other highlights of the place. The concession game is as strong as you'd expect. And all stadiums now, they've got their highlights. A lot of local stuff. The local crap. They were one of the first places that I knew of, that I visited, that had the tie-in with the local breweries. And we featured Appalachian Brewery in our intro. And Appalachian Brewery was a pioneer in the craft brewery game, at least in Harrisburg. And they tied in right away with the Senators. And they now partner with other breweries in the area. So they've just gone along and amped that game up. And they've got their tiki bar out in right field now. And they've continued that. They've got a local hot dog joint that runs a stand in left field. So a lot of local tie-ins there, which are strong. And, continue the island theme of the ballpark and the boardwalk theme of the ballpark. So that's really neat.
Fun trivia. FNB Field was the home for Ricky Vaughn and Pedro Serrano and Willie Mays Hayes as they did spring training for Major League 2. So Major League...
Really?
It was the spring training place where they filmed for Major League 2. Ran across that.
Well, now I need to watch that.
Little tidbit today. Unfortunately, now you got to watch Major League 2 again.
Yeah, now I got to watch Major League 2.
One thing that I thought was fun.
At least it's not Major League 3.
Yeah,
back to the majors.
Yikes. One thing that I thought was really fun, I hadn't seen this before. I felt sorry for all involved just because it was so stupid hot. But they have their one of their mascots is called Rascal. And he's like this kind of fuzzy, almost dragon, like I don't know what he is.
Anyway. What do they call it? Anamorphic?
I don't know. It's something.
I don't think that's really the word, but something like that.
And they did this bit where he comes out with these 3 little kids who are also in like...
Yes, they put him in that. Sometimes they put him in just like the head, hat, okay, and the little gloves, but they put him in full costumes.
Yeah. So they were in full costumes. And for the young people out there, you will not get this joke at all, but it was Rascal and his little rascals.
That triggers a memory of the on-field host. At least I don't know if he's a regular or if it was just this year. It is the most against type on-field host that I've ever seen in a ballpark. Because usually you get someone who, you either get the older guy who looks like he's, a baseball fan, or you get the young kid with the big personality. This guy looked like he had just stepped out of the library. He had the big glasses on, and he had the geeky voice, and he looked like he was out of Revenge of the Nerds,
Oh,
and that's how he sounded too. And so for him to be leading the between inning shenanigans, just really it was a juxtaposition, to use a big word.
nice, nice.
But yeah, it really seemed out of place. But he did a nice job. I can't complain about his performance. It just at first it was like that's their MC. Interesting.
Well, and I don't know. Yeah, you probably hung around and did Harrisburg and whatnot. We kind of zoomed in and out. We did probably what a lot of people do in the morning. We went to the Hershey World of Chocolate, which is like just up the road.
Went to 3 Mile Island.
Pardon?
I went to 3 Mile Island.
Okay.
No, I did not. Which is right up the river.
Oh, all right.
No,
we went to World of Chocolate. We left my wife at the Outlet Mall, which is right beside Hershey Park there.
Yep, Hershey's only about 20 minutes away.
Yeah, Jackson and I headed down and caught the ball game, and yeah, we had a good time. It's a perfect spot. You're minutes from Reading. You're minutes from Allentown. You're not far from Philly. We went from Harrisburg to Philly and did Philly things.
York, Lancaster, all those nearby.
Yeah, you're right in this kind of little mini baseball hub that it's almost like the Tobacco Road of baseball.
Not quite as good as North Carolina, but yeah, it's a good pocket.
Hush hush. Nobody really talks about it, but it's just everything's so close. If you were a fan there, like, man, you could just zip around and hit baseball like no problem with 30 minutes, to an hour any direction, and you got lots going on.
And what more could you ask, right? A night on the island watching baseball. So that's our look at FNB Field. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you all on the road again real soon. Cheers.
Cheers.